You're listening to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. It's my pleasure, as always, to have in the studio from Wardini Books in Havelock North on this program called
The Wonderful World. Oh, I can't do it. The Wonderful World of Wardini Books.
That's because I changed the beginning around a bit.
I know.
Yes,
you completely threw me, and the anticipation was too great.
I could see you were thrown. How you going, Lou?
Yeah, I'm pretty well on the whole.
Yeah. As we speak, what a crack of a day.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's been about 30 out there. It's boiling.
Glorious summer day.
You know, it's a very English thing to say, isn't it? Boiling.
Boiling?
Yeah, it's boiling.
Phew, what a scorcher.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, here we are to review another 3 fabulous books, which, by the way, would be a great idea for Christmas presents out at Wardini Books in Havelock and in Napier. And the first book is called Koro.
Koro by Gavin Bishop, beloved New Zealand children's writer and illustrator. And as you can see there, how gorgeous. Yeah. There's Koro, there's Grandad, with little person, who we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so that's quite useful when you would like your little person to identify with them. Hey Koro, there's a tiny hand and a big hand, and that's the first thing that when you open it you go, no.
That's right.
Yeah, how gorgeous.
I love
and then
pages.
He says, "What's up, my little one?" And it's all in Te Reo Māori. And I'll say it's she because I'm a girl, so that's what I'm identifying with. And she's got an egg, he hiki. They go out and they get some puha and he karoti and he rewana.
What a great learning tool.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what's going to happen, Ken? Can you predict it?
I think they're going to make a salad sandwich.
They're going to make hikai, a beautiful sandwich. Absolutely.
Well, that's all my favourite stuff in there too. Egg and tomato and lettuce, carrots, yum.
Just beautiful.
Salad sandwich.
And then she's like, he korero. So they're going to have stories. They're going to have chats and stories. And I don't know how Grandad's feeling about that. He's like, I want a nap. But it's okay because then they can have a nap after their stories.
What a great way to learn te reo.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so simple. Not a lot of words, but simple words, and you think, well, that's a great idea.
I think it's a really... Because what I did when I was really looking at it to review, I thought, I love the illustrations, absolutely fabulous. Really sweet, that relationship between the grandfather and his moko. And anything that I didn't know exactly what it meant, like I didn't know this morning, hia hamau, what that meant, but it is like, what's up, you know, what would you like? And so, and then the rest of it from context, it's an egg.
Falls into place, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it's a really good learning tool as well for your deal, and just a really lovely little story.
Absolutely right, and it's a book that anyone would get something out of.
Absolutely.
Regardless of age. And I love that one of the little hand and the big hand.
Oh,
that says it all, doesn't it?
Absolutely does, doesn't it?
Look at that.
Yeah.
How good is
One
that?
of the most special images in humanity, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The trust.
Absolutely right, and that's what dragons do.
Ooh, this is one of those books that's like, whoa! But don't worry, parents, because it will calm down towards the end if you want to read it towards bedtime. So this is by Raymond McGrath, and it starts off, "Rah, I'm a dragon." And I love this little dragon because this little dragon's wearing a crown and some kind of frilly little skirt thing. I can roar, I can fly, I can swish my tail, and I can make fire in my mouth. Because that's what dragons do.
I love it.
And I think we would agree that that's generally
what, dragons do.
What we perceive dragons do.
I sense a but coming. But
cool. Hey, what did you do that for?
I'm a firefighter.
Yes. Well, because I'm a firefighter. I wear my big firefighter hat. I wear my big firefighter boots. I ride around in my big firefighting truck. Wee-oo, wee-oo. And I put out fires with my big firefighter hose because that's what firefighters do. And on it goes along those themes. Hey, what did you do that for? Because I'm a cupcake fairy. And the next thing that happens, the cupcake fairy gets scuppered a little bit by the digger-dumper driver, because that's what the digger-dumper drivers do. They dig and dump things and scoop things up. And we've got a dumper, and then we've got an alien space robot, and we've got... Hey, what did you do that for? Because I'm a dad. And you two are making quite the racket, and it's time to go to bed. And so they do the lovely things. I tell you it's time to lie down. I tuck you in your blankets warm and tight. I whisper secretly that I love you, and then I kiss you gently goodnight. because that's what daddies do.
How nice is that? I love those happy endings.
It's a beautiful book, isn't it?
It is.
Because you just look at it to begin with, you're like, whoa, that's a raucous, fun book. And, you know, reading that to your kids, you can just have so much fun.
And making those noises like you make. You know, you put all the sound effects in, which is great, isn't it?
Such a show-off. I just love it, though. It's so much fun, isn't it?
It is. I just love it too.
Different voices. What would a cupcake fairy sound like?
Yeah, especially when it makes the kids jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
But then...
What would a cupcake fairy sound like? How would you make the cupcake fairy noise?
It'd have to be kind of twinkly, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like a squeaky voice, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
Do you have a squeaky voice?
I don't know, it'd be quite funny if you just like, I'm the cupcake fairy. Yeah. Whatever you like.
I like that one. Tell us about the Paper Palace.
Right, we've gone from two beautiful, sweet, lovely children's books to a very grown-up book, and it was absolutely unputdownable. It's Miranda Cowley Heller, and I think it might be a debut novel, in which case it's extremely accomplished. So the Paper Palace is set on, this is her first novel, Cape Cod. Mm-hmm. So if you can imagine a summer day like today, and, you know, if we're going to translate it to Aotearoa, then it'd be like your Kiwi batch on the lake. And this family have gone down there for a couple of generations. You know, grandfather built the Paper Palace, and it's called that because he had grand plans. It's a camp, and there's a main building where they all eat, and then there are sort of bathrooms and little cabins where the family stay. And he kind of ran out of money towards the end, and so the walls are all kind of paper. They're all cardboard. It's crammed with cardboard and stuff like that. So they call it the Paper Palace just for fun. And there's our main character whose name, you know what I'm like with names, Elle. And she's been going there for years, and her sister Anna used to go when they were kids, and their mother Wallace has been a single parent for some time. Their dad was around, but let them down a lot and was pretty useless and spineless and just did whatever woman he was with at that time wanted him to do. And so the kids really dipped out from their father. But Wallace, the mother, the matriarch, is quite this amazing character. She'll just say what's on her mind, and Elle, as a grown-up with children of her own, kind of really gets it, you know, from her mum. Well, you just shut up and put up, you know, this kind of thing. And Wallace has had some interesting periods of her life so you get Wallace's background of things that happened to her and her brother when they were growing up. And then you get Elle, who in the present day, they're all sitting down for dinner, and her best friend Jonas from childhood is there, and something happens between them that night. And then you get what happened to them during their childhood as well, and how it's led up to this point in the present. And there's such childhood trauma in there, and secret keeping, and guilt and blame, and it's described from both sides, so the perpetrator and the victims. It's really morally ambiguous all the way through. I mean, there are some things that just like point blank should never happen to anybody, absolutely, and there is blame to be had, but there's also mitigating factors, you know. And so it's just this, you're there with them on the beach, and the swimming in the cool water and the stinging sun and the sand flies and the mosquitoes and the wine on the table and the sweat dripping off people's faces. You know, it's so amazingly evoked. Yeah, and it's these relationships. So Elle's got this lovely British husband, Peter, and he's kind of like what did I describe him as, sort of Hugh Grant with a bit more backbone. You know, that kind of foppish character, but quite dry.
Is it a book that flows, or is it flashbacks and then back to the future and then back to the past? And
yeah, it is a bit flashbacky, but it works. It completely works. So it starts with this sort of explosive happening between Jonas and Elle at the beginning, during this, you know, big sort of family event where their partners are there and their kids are there, and Wallace, the matriarch's there. And then it goes back to, okay, this is the first time Elle and Jonas met. And then this stepbrother comes into the family, and then this happens with her sister. And, you know, you get what's happening now with Elle and Jonas, and then, but that's because of this. Yeah. This is happening now, and that's because of this.
And does everyone walk away with a smile on their face?
Ambiguous.
Yes, ambiguous, okay.
I can't say much more than that. I had a lovely conversation with a lady that came in to buy it as a gift for somebody, because she'd read it and she thought, oh, this would be a great Christmas present for my friend. And I went, but what about the ending? And she's like, And we had this really cool discussion.
Out of 10, what would you rate it?
Oh, it's a good 9 out of 10, yeah.
And if you want any fabulous books, these three in particular, or in fact any other of the thousands of titles that you have, where do we get them?
Wardini Books, please.
Good on you, Lou. As was my pleasure. You look after yourself. We'll talk to the same time, same place next week.
Thanks very much, Ken.